Hi everybody, Jacob here. Welcome to my fashion bunker. Today is a very special day because I will be reviewing one of my hidden loves and hidden treasures from within, deep within the fashion bunker. And for the occasion, I have a very rare object to share with you guys. Here it is. That's the size of it. The monolith Opium pour Homme by Yves Saint Laurent. Let's go as far as we can to the front so you can see it. This is the factice bottle, the dummy that came out in 1995 with real liquid but not real perfume inside for perfumeries, for perfume stores. It's literally kept inside. It's the original bottle in huge to represent and help the perfumers sell the product. I love this perfume so much that I hunted down one of these treasures or forbidden treasures or however you want to call them, just to compare them side by side. This is the actual Opium pour Homme Eau de Parfum bottle, the only size available, or that was ever available, the 50 milliliter, compared to this giant here. That's how this goes back as possible. I'm going to have to do it sideways like this so you can see. That's how they are, side by side. Okay, so I'm going to gently put this little wonder down. You're going to have just the top peeking out. Okay, now for this special occasion, I have also taken out of my archives the pre-reformulated Opium. The original, the one and only, the Eau de Toilette Opium 60 milliliter splash. And this is how it looks. And some of you have already seen my review of the Opium, the original, for ladies. And then I have the original package of the Eau de Parfum Opium pour Homme and the newly released bottle of the Opium pour Homme, also Eau de Parfum. So as of today, 2016, this beautiful, majestic packaging does not exist anymore. If your country does sell the Eau de Parfum concentration, you will only be able to find it in these bottles here. These are the same bottles in which you will find the Eau de Toilette, because it does exist also in Eau de Toilette concentration. Let's see if you can read down here. It says Eau de Parfum. Probably very hard to read and see. So, as I was saying, 50 ml spray. This is how the refills, similar, looked like in this bottle. For the occasion, I will open it up. What you do is, on the bottom of the bottle, there is the YSL text. It says, you know, Yves Saint Laurent, perfumes, blah, blah, blah. Depending on what year and what batch you have, these texts vary because Yves Saint Laurent has been sold oh so many times and so many different production houses have been producing it. At the moment, I think it's L'Oreal that produces Yves Saint Laurent perfumes and is at times not doing the best of jobs doing so. Anyway, you click this little bit here and then you take this out. There's a little sponge in there. Very simple mechanism, the little click mechanism here. And then the bottle is in there. You press lightly, take it here, and you pull out. This is the refill. They used to produce refills, of course now they don't anymore, but if you can see them side by side, you have the 50 milliliter refill and the new 50 milliliter spray. I don't know if the camera shows it very well, but you can already notice that there's a slight difference in color of the liquid. Mind you, according to the batch code, this one is from 2012. This one is from 2015. So this one isn't a version from the 90s. This one is already reformulated, probably. But still, there's a difference in scent. And this one does appear to be slightly lighter in color. Let's get quick to the packaging as well. The new Eau de Parfum, 50 ml comes in this package. You can see at the bottom it does not state that it's a refillable box, and the older version is higher. It's cute how the lines match up totally, except this box is taller than the other one. So there you have it. Anyway, I do have one more bottle in here with brand new packaging because I found one. So this container I actually purchased. I mean, I'm on my third bottle of Opium pour Homme actually. So I keep on using my first one because I'm not afraid of scratching it, because this is plastic, so you might kind of end up damaging it by, you know, using it all the time. So I do tend to use just one, and then the other ones are, you know, kept sealed safe in their original packages. All right, so now we're going to get to testing these fragrances. Why did I take out the original Opium for the occasion? Let me just see what side here. The original Opium, because it's so majestic that there's a special way that I go about kind of analyzing or reviewing perfumes. In this case, because they come from the same family, and you can see the similarity in how they decided to package them side by side. Plastic container, glass bottle inside, and then you have the liquid showing through. Except this liquid, because it's a vintage bottle, is so dark and ambery. It's amazing. Anyway, I have put a little bit of opium right here and right there. So I have it just in the background of my mind, just to be able to always kind of keep it present, you know, as I am reviewing Opium pour Homme, because there are similarities between them. On this hand, I will be putting the original package Eau de Parfum. Let's spray it. I did 2 sprays. And we're going to do the new one on this side, also 2 sprays. They spray slightly different. All right. They both smell divine. So just before we even get into the specifics of the perfume, whether or not their formulations are good or bad, they're both really good. So if you manage to get your hands on an Eau de Parfum, do so. Eau de Toilette, I personally don't like it. It's too pissy, too acidy, too aggressive. Not my perfume. I would definitely go for the Eau de Parfum. So, released in 1995, Jacques Cavalier is the perfumer behind, or is the nose behind this perfume. We have a pretty simple structured pyramid of notes. We have the star anise in the top notes, in the black currant. The star anise is kind of something that is annoying and tendentially cloying or aggressive, especially in the Eau de Toilette. In the Eau de Parfum, it's more soft. Then we got the middle notes with Sichuan pepper and galanga. The base notes, bourbon vanilla, atlas cedar, and tolu balsam. Boy, is this perfume magical. And I am a huge fan of Opium, but Opium pour Homme is better to me. And it's unisex, again, as all perfumes are, but it's unisex. And it's unisex for several reasons, because the heart of this one is in here. Or let's say this heart is in here as well. Meaning, Opium pour Homme is more sophisticated than Opium, because it starts aggressive and then it ends warm. It ends warm, and that bourbon vanilla It's just majestically blended in with the rest of the ingredients because it's never overpowering, never too much, because it has a lot of those peppers and that star anise and the black currant notes that tame it down constantly, but the vanilla fights back from underneath by warming up with the heat of your body and also with your own essential oils of your own body and with your own chemistry. It keeps warming up these other ingredients that would naturally be pretty cold and cool. So you have that coolness, that sophisticated coolness and kind of detached, that way of being detached, as so many guys like to be, connected with the warmth of the vanilla. But the warmth of the vanilla is something you sense when you come close to the person wearing Opium pour Homme. And that is something extremely sensual about this perfume. So if I had a bottle this big with the real perfume, I would also empty it completely. Isn't this amazing? This like, I know it's a big thing to have, and you just like, you have to dust it all the time. You have to like keep it on a piece of furniture somewhere in the fashion bunker, and it's always there, you know, majestic and present to remind me of how beautiful this perfume is. And it also is there. Let me just move it for a second out of the way. It's impossible to move it out of the way. There's no place. Let's see. Now you're going to see it. Okay, let's delicately put it down. I hope it's not going to break. It serves me as a reminder for Yves Saint Laurent to tell Yves Saint Laurent, do not discontinue something that you have created. This is your creation, Yves Saint Laurent. This perfume was created by you, by your brand. This is also beautiful. The Eau de Toilette also has this packaging, this type of bottle. I'm fine with it. But this is simplifying something that should be so complex and incredible, as is this bottle. And this bottle represents to a T the liquid inside. You have that cool outer shell and you have that hot warmth on the inside. I have to cover my face for this to focus. That's exactly what it represents. What I said before with the anise, with the currant, and with the peppery notes, kind of fighting to balance that heat from within, which comes through this opening. And it is addictive. Now, both of these versions are very similar. This one, the second you spray it on the skin, it's warm from the beginning. It doesn't have that slight bite to it. It does, but it's tamed. It's very tamed. It's much more soft. This one goes a little bit more heavy on the head notes. So you're going to feel that star anise more. You're going to feel that freshness of it. It's more effervescent. This one is more effervescent than this one. However, and this is something that I have noticed since I started using the new formulation, this one lasts longer on my skin than this one altogether, and the dry down here is more intense. So that has to do probably with the fact that this version is intense from the beginning, so it has that warmth from the beginning. This one surprises you at a certain point because the warmth kicks in all of a sudden. Could be after half an hour, could be after an hour. It depends what you're doing. It depends on the temperature of your body, on the temperature outside, humidity outside, or at home, or wherever you are. So it transforms on the skin a bit differently, according to the weather mostly, and your mood. They're both divine. This one perhaps also has more of a touch of something herbal. It's almost herbal in a way. And this one, we're still kind of in the opening notes. And this one is a bit more chemical, if you want. But when I say chemical, you're going to think, oh, that's bad. It's not necessarily bad. It's as if the chemical is preparing us for what's going to come. Let's put it that way. And seriously, if you give this guy a chance, he will surprise you in the best of ways, because what comes is an avalanche of sensuality to such a degree. It's not one of those aggressive perfumes. It's not one of those wannabe perfumes. It's not one of those male heavy perfumes from the 80s that were kind of like powerhouse perfumes that were all about screaming in your face. But at the same time, it's not one of those characterless perfumes of today that don't really give you any sort of character. They're just like watered down and they just like yell at you, please like me, I'm good, I'm not offensive, I'm not going to do anything bad to you. This one has character, and you need character to wear it, to tame it. So it's a struggle, but in the best of ways, because it never goes over the top. This perfume never overpowers you. You have to be capable of understanding that when you are using it, it has to be the right moment. If you don't know the exact time when to use it, then just follow your instinct. Follow that voice within that tells you, oh, I'm in the mood for an Oriental perfume. Now, again, I'm calling this Oriental because it's opium. The name says it's Oriental because it comes from the Orient, but it could be also something else. I mean, I'm a bit annoyed that all warm fragrances have to be Oriental, but okay, whatever, it's Oriental. Both are developing divinely. This one has a slight kind of maybe more time-related touch, more reminiscent of the 90s. This one is a bit more fresh, but it's still warm and sensual and fragrancy in the best of ways. So L'Oréal, I think, did a good job with this one. I'm happy about that. I also have to say, this is maybe together with Egoist, and there are kind of similarities between the two, but this is the fragrance from the 90s, together with Egoist, that has withstood the test of time completely. This fragrance is timeless to me. It's atemporel, it doesn't have that, oh, this is a 90s fragrance. Oh, this is an 80s fragrance. Oh, this smells like a cologne from the 20s. Opium has something in it. How to describe this? It's something that balances out the vanilla and the top kind of more manly, curranty, peppery notes. And by manly, I don't mean male. I mean more rough. Here, the vanilla is more tamed. Here, the vanilla struggles, like fights more, is more of a warrior. And I kind of like it. And in fact, as I said before, this one stays longer on the skin. And they're just so divine. It's so hard for me to describe this timelessness. I think the perfume itself is a testament to something timeless, because that sweetness of that vanilla contrasted with the anise, with the currant, with the pepper, keeps you guessing constantly, but it keeps you wanting more. And that's where this addiction kind of comes from. To me, it comes from this paradox of bitey, of something aggressive and acidy, bitey, contrasted with something sweet and tender and soft and mesmerizing. And it's a constant balance. And this perfume is balanced to a T. To a T. Wait, how is it? Like that. It's a T. Because it never falls out of balance. You never feel the ingredients kind of like, they're always there. They're always like doing this, and they're like programmed and they know what they're doing, and they blend in like that, and then they like attach, and then they start melting with your skin and with your own smell and scent. And you're just riding that wave, and you're high. Literally. Not more, not less. Some fragrances have a tendency within their chemistry and within their chemical composition to kind of battle. You feel that the ingredients don't kind of blend in and don't kind of position themselves one in relationship to the other in a position where they don't kind of like fight against each other, but they just like kind of blend in like Lego blocks. They just like click in. In some perfumes, you have the feeling they're like rubbing against each other, trying to fit in, but they don't. And that creates something, to my olfactory experience, a feeling of feeling unpleasant. Some perfumes just don't put me at ease. Now, I'm not saying that I wish every perfume put me at ease. You know, sometimes this one doesn't put me at ease either. But to my nose, there's a total understanding of how things work together, how they have been combined, and how they, you know, portray this entire opium pour homme. And that is the magic, and that is the addiction, because you keep wanting to smell that balance, you know? It literally manages to trick me into relaxation. Literally. It gives me that high. It gives me that feeling that everything will be good. The Eau de Toilette doesn't. You see, that's a really good example. The Eau de Toilette of Opium gives me that sensation that the ingredients aren't clicking in perfectly. They're not like clicking in. They're like kind of trying to click in, but they don't. On my skin, with my chemistry at least. And the Eau de Toilette is more of an aggressive type of scent. Maybe more dominant type of scent. This one isn't. This one is much more subdued and tricky, because it kind of attacks from behind, because when you least when you least expect it, the dry down kicks in and you're just like, bam. And the dry down is kicking in already. And now I'm so used to this perfume because I've been using it for such a long time that perhaps I have the feeling that the dry down on me is too quick, and that the time that this fragrance spends on my skin is too short. Maybe other people sense it on me more than I do on myself, but I would say that the sillage, and projection. Okay, it lasts on my skin for about 2 hours, tops, 3. If, however, I were, after 3 hours, to go close to my skin, and, I have, usually, the trick is, for those of you who don't know, is with your nose to just blow out warm air, warm up the spot where the perfume was, and you kind of pop those molecules open. Oh my God, you're gonna get a high. Try that, like after 1 or 2 hours that you have any perfume on. Warm that place up, that spot where you've sprayed it on. Warm it and then inhale. You're gonna unlock the heart of the perfume, and it's gonna be hypnotizing, to say the least. This one has it too. So I kind of catch myself embarrassingly, in a way, whether I be in the city or in an office or wherever I am, just like blowing into my skin and then inhaling it as much as I can, just to be able to capture that gorgeous balance. And that's a balance that this perfume, it just gives me like a balsamic. It's not even a balsamic thing, because it's not sugary at all. It's not like caramel mixed with milk and it's like balsamic, it feels good. This thing has some herbal effect on you, has a smoky effect on you. There's a touch, there's just a sprinkle of smoke in there as well. Or leather, but just a hint. And everything is just hinted at, It's a perfume that keeps hinting at big notions, but it rounds them so beautifully. Hence, this is a masterpiece of unisex perfumery, because it's called pour homme, but it's for people, it's for anybody, because it rounds up all of those sharp edges, and it gives you that feeling that just, you just want more and more and more of it. And as I said, approximately 3 bottles used up already. Now, back to this one quickly. This is the pre-reformulated version, guys, by the way. Pre-reformulation is always magical, especially because psychologically you also think once you get a bottle that you have the best available. But of course you also have to consider that perfumes do get old, and depends how they were stored. Something so special, I keep it sealed off, as airtight as possible, away from all sources of light, as well as heat. So when I smell them together, Opium and Opium pour Homme, they're just so incredibly, like, they blend in so majestically. What is hot and steamy here is cool, elevated, and just warmed up here. And what is kind of cool here is only hinted at here because of its attitude. So they just like keep, you know, bloop, they just like blend in so magically. And I have no words to describe this. Also, I have said this before, but I'll say it again. You know, this one is the perfume my mother used in the 70s. And I remember as a kid, one of my loves for perfumes kind of came thanks to this bottle, because I always remember it in the bedroom, and it was always like there next to the bed. And I would always, this is really hard to open. It's a glass stopper. This is a splash bottle, and you really have to put an, I'm literally talking like when I was like 2 or 3. I didn't have the strength to open this, so I always had to ask my mom to open it for me, I remember, in the beginning. But then later on, I could open it myself. And I was just always hypnotized by this smell. And then when the male version came out, what can I say? I thought it's not going to work, probably because 70s, 90s, so many years in between, perfumery has changed. And then it works. It worked. It worked, and it still keeps working with this formulation. I know that it has been discontinued in the States, the Eau de Parfum, and it has been discontinued in Great Britain as well. It's being discontinued everywhere, slowly, you know. They're reducing it more and more. But this is a plea to you, Yves Saint Laurent or L'Oreal or whoever for you. Reconsider. And to you guys, the only way to prove them wrong is to purchase this perfume and save it from extinction. Because it's pretty close to extinction. Once they start minimizing production, cutting off countries, bottle packaging, reducing it to as minimal as possible, it's a bad sign. And this perfume does deserve to live long, because it would be a treasure lost. It would be the extinction, like the extinction of a species. There is no male perfume like this one out there. There is none, really. The balance it has, the sympathy, the charisma it has, and the strength it has, it's nowhere, no other perfume has that in the Pour Homme range. So, guys, I cannot express my love enough for this fragrance, literally. And Yves Saint Laurent, if you're listening, please reconsider and bring back the original package as well, because these bottles are so beautiful. And for those of you who say that they're plasticky and they scratch easily, that's part of its magic. You have to covet it and protect it, and you have to treat it, you know, very well, because it is precious. And plastic is a symbol, well, metal and plastic of Yves Saint Laurent perfumery since forever. Let's not forget the original opium is also in a plastic container, glass inside of plastic. Plastic was a revolutionary material in the 70s. Well, already in the 50s, but you know what I mean. And so to produce this bottle in the 90s and still have the plastic, and this bottle, mind you, with a plastic refill, rechargeable bottle, was produced till they discontinued it in 2013-14. So they never changed the design, which is a huge testament to the strength of a fragrance and to the conviction of a brand. We know Dior keeps changing their bottles. Chanel also keeps changing their bottles all the time. Redefines the stoppers, the thickness, and everything. But enough about Chanel. This is Yves Saint Laurent after all. So Yves Saint Laurent, listen to me, guys. Bring it back in this packaging. And for those of you out there who still find them anywhere, just purchase them to show that the numbers, you know, do fit and that they should keep producing it. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you like this gigantic review. For those of you who follow me on Instagram, my name on Instagram is superdacob. I did promise something huge for this review, and indeed, I think I delivered the biggest thing I could have, which is this. I hope you like the review. I hope you thumb it up, share, to see the community grow, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you wish to see more. I love you. Don't ever give up on love. See you soon. Bye. Hey guys, I hope you enjoyed my video, and if you haven't already, don't forget to subscribe to my channel and check out some of my other videos. I'm also on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. So come on over guys and join the fun.